Welcome to this edition of Team USASAC, a podcast dedicated to explaining and telling the United States Army Security Assistance Command's mission. The organization is often referred to as the Army's face to the world. But what does that mean? I'm Tim Hansen with the Public Affairs Office, and here with me to explain it all is USASAC's Deputy to the Commanding General, Dr. Myra Gray. Dr. Gray, thank you for joining us.
And thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay, so first off, Dr. Gray, just what is the mission of USASAC?
I could say that in 4 words: enabling partners and allies. That's really what we do, and that includes a lot of different items, a lot of different things that goes into it, but that is the ultimate mission, and that's part of our own defensive posture, our own collaboration with our partners and allies in order to increase security in our nation and around the world.
And what would you say is kind of the biggest misconception out there about USASAC, whether it's the general public or maybe even within the organization?
Well, the first one would probably be that we are just selling stuff. There's a lot that goes into what that security assistance mission is all about. It's not just about selling equipment to partners. The second misconception is that we're making a profit and it's only driven by getting money. That is not true either. In fact, we do not have a profit that we make. We are prohibited from that.
And I'm going to kind of jump on one thing you said there. You talked about it's not just selling equipment. One thing USASAC's known for, it's called the total package approach. What does that kind of entail, or what other things other than maybe just equipment?
Well, that would mean that when we decide to either sell something to a partner or to use funds from Congress that they've set aside to support our partners, it means that we're not just giving them a piece of equipment and telling them to have a nice day. We want to enable them to be able to have strong readiness, to be able to fight the fight and do what they have to do. So that means we have to teach them. There's training involved. We have to make sure they have the right supply, they have the right maintenance and repair. So that's what total package approach is making sure that we give them the full capability that can be sustained.
And going kind of along those lines, you kind of touched on this, but just why is our mission so important in Big Army?
In Big Army, it's important because if we have a strong partner or ally, they can be a force multiplier. If we have to go somewhere, now we have people that can join with us, and we can be stronger in what we're doing, no matter where it is. So we want to make sure that we have some form of interoperability, that they have a capability that can be added to what we're doing. Mm-hmm. As well, when we have enabled partners and allies, there may be contingencies that they can cover that does not involve putting our soldiers in harm's way. So it's really a very strong way to help ensure world peace by gathering together and having partners and allies and making sure that they're properly enabled to do the job.
And kind of going into then, I guess, talking about partners and allies, is there a difference when people are talking about partners or allies? Or when we have foreign military sales cases, there's a vetting process, I imagine. You know, we don't just sell to anybody.
We don't just sell to anybody. And in fact, the State Department is the one who oversees all of our cooperative efforts of this nature with our partners and allies. State Department is the lead for anything we do. Now, we have different levels to where our closest allies, we may provide them technologies or capabilities that we would not necessarily give to, say, our good friends or our close friends or even our acquaintances. We have to make sure that the technology is properly protected and that they know how to use it and that it won't be used improperly. So there's a level of partnership and friendship that sort of stratifies how we're going to provide the equipment. Every case is vetted, and every case is unique, not only with the capability you're providing, but the country that is in need. Now, in addition to the money that Congress provides, which we call BPC or FMS money, or FMF money. There's also the FMS money, and that comes from the country. That is their money. They're on different budget cycles. They may have different authorities and approvals that they have to go through. So each case is unique. We have another area that we are supporting our partners and allies, and that's with EDA, Excess Defense Articles. That is really where we have something that we're getting out of our inventory, and instead of just throwing it away, we may have a partner that capability could be very good for them. It may be something that is slightly outdated for us, but it could be cutting edge. So if we can enable our partners and allies with those things that otherwise we would have thrown away, we save the Army a lot of money, but we also enable the partners and allies to have a capability they wouldn't otherwise have.
Well, when we're talking about foreign military sales, or FMS cases as we often refer to them here at USASAC, kind of just walk our audience through what that process is from, I guess, the beginning till delivery.
Well, the first step of the process is there has to be a need. And that need, that request, comes from the country. We don't go and proactively say, hey, you want this, let us sell this to you. They have to have a need. But in order to keep it within our own priorities, the COCOMs, the combatant commands, then validate that this is a true need. So that it's something that fits in with how they want to engage with that partner. From there, there's something called a LOR. It's a letter of request, and they will either ask for what does it cost to get capability X, or what's a price and availability. And that's kind of like a something that they can use to kind of think about whether they do want to get involved in receiving an LOA, which is a letter of offer and acceptance, and make that agreement with the United States for providing that equipment. So the first step is the partner, and we work with the ODCs in country. They're our focal point for conversations with the partner, although many different people may be engaged with the partner. So it comes through the ODC, and then when we get it, we would then look at what are they asking, do we have this capability, are we able to meet it, and this is not we USASAC. This is we across AMC determining what that need is. It's definitely an enterprise. It involves the PMs, the PEOs, and of course they're reaching out to industry and their external partners. It definitely involves the SAMDs. That's the first place that we USASAC goes to when we're talking about a certain platform. It may involve multiples if you have a capability that's being requested that includes, say, radios and aircraft. So it is a lot of moving parts, a lot of different folks that are all unified as an enterprise with the end state of being enabling the partners and allies.
Well, Dr. Gray, we're just about out of time, but I want to give you the opportunity one last time. Just, is there anything that you want to add or you think is important when talking about our organization, or talking about USASAC? Is
no matter what role any individual in USASAC is performing, no matter how secondary it seems, the end state is not that you are doing a task. The end state is that you personally are enabling partners and allies. We could not do it without the effort that goes on, and sometimes it seems like we're buried in spreadsheets or typing out reports. The bottom line is you are enabling partners and allies and assisting the Army in furthering its mission.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gray, for joining us today. We appreciate you giving our listeners an inside look at USASAC. And, I just want to thank all of you that tuned in to Team USASAC as well. As always, if you want to learn more about the United States Army Security Assistance Command, just visit our website at www.army.mil/USASAC. Of course, you can find that link in the description of this podcast. And until the next time, for Team USASAC, I'm Tim Hansen. Thank you for listening.